In this video, we'll be going over where the overwhelmingly positive reviewed top-down shoot-'em-up roguelite Star of Providence came from, why it grabbed Big Mode Studios' attention, why you've never heard of it, and why you should be excited about it too. Let's get started. Star of Providence may seem like a new game, and to some degree it is, but it actually goes quite a bit further back than you might think. 2017 to be specific, when Star of Providence went by a different name. Monolith, as it was known at the time, was the first commercial project to be released by the small indie dev team, Team D13. Now with a new name, a new massive content drop incoming, and new publishing giant Big Mode on board, you're about to be hearing and seeing a lot more about Star of Providence very soon when it releases on the Switch on a yet-to-be-revealed date. While you might wonder why you should care about a game you probably haven't heard of that came out in 2017, I got you covered. When Monolith first released, it was a fast-paced, bullet hell-style shoot-'em-up with a unique feel and style from other roguelites. With a wide assortment of different weapons and dozens of modifiers to alter them even further, dynamic and anxiety-producing boss encounters, arcadey-style shooting, shiny pixel art, and a hard-hitting chiptune soundtrack, it quickly received positive attention by reviewers. While it was often compared to the likes of Binding of Isaac and Enter the Gungeon, it never quite found the same level of fame. And with just over 1,500 reviews on Steam as of now, it's still somewhat of a hidden gem today. And while it was well received by its cult following when the first iteration of Star of Providence first came out, it's only gotten better and better since. The dev team has been far from resting since its initial release, and they've continuously poured more and more energy into the game, working on new content with some free updates and even paid DLC in 2019, and it really took the game to the next level, adding thousands of new room layouts, new bosses, new areas, new characters, weapons, upgrades, and even having a way to infinitely loop the run, leading to the game having quite an enormous set of post-game content that goes well beyond what you initially think is the end boss. And by the looks of the new trailer and partnership with Big Mode, it's clear the dev team has continued to put out a lot of effort in preparing even more content which will be coming with the upcoming Switch release, likely adding at least a couple dozen more hours of unique content to what was already a very expansive roguelite. And what's great about all of this is that for owners of the original base game, they now receive the Relics of the Past DLC for free as D13 consolidates the game into one complete project. So let's go a little deeper into the mechanics and explain why you should be excited for this. I actually picked up Star of Providence on Steam over a year ago during a Steam summer sale after hearing some high praise for it as a hidden gem. And you know what that means. It's been sitting in my backlog ever since. So after the announcement reminded me I already own this, I decided to finally pick it up, and well, damn, it's just really good. Enemies are all engaging and substantially different from each other, especially the boss fights, which are all incredibly well designed, challenging, and surprising. These were some of the most tense, butt-clenching gaming moments I've ever had. Each floor requires you to find and take out a certain number of mini-bosses before the gateway to the floor's big boss can be challenged. The weapons seem fairly straightforward at first, but the different modifiers, which are more or less classic shoot-'em-up upgrades, really make each combination feel extremely different, making it worth testing out new ones whenever you find them. Of course, you can only carry one at a time, and with limited ammo before you run out and revert back to your weak base weapon, this is really where the strategy comes in, as you want to make sure you don't pick up a weapon too early on a floor and run out during a crucial time against a boss fight. The game itself is pretty damn hard too if you haven't played a lot of shoot-'em-ups. I mean, look at some of these boss fights. It took me some time to better recognize where I was against everything else on screen. It controls really well though, letting you dash to reposition yourself and even being able to smoothly and immediately turn around mid-dash to course correct. The game also does a good job of rewarding you for taking risks. This micro-core boss can appear on any floor, and while being really tough, the more damage you can dish out, the higher the reward you get at the end. That is if you don't die trying, of course. You can also get some crazy good builds. I had this one weapon carry me through 3 floors and it was just tearing through everything. You get rewarded for taking out mini-bosses, bosses, and sometimes just randomly for clearing a normal room too. Often this is where you need to make some tough choices, like when you commonly need to decide between picking up extra health or picking up extra ammo for your current weapon, or at times even adding a damage upgrade to your weapons. There's shops and other unique rooms that can be encountered for additional rewards, and these machines that give you one of 3 typically permanent upgrades for the rest of the run. There's a variety of bombs that do different things, but one of the most crucial is for opening these extra rooms. And at times there's keys to open these other extra rooms as well. What's great about Star of Providence is that the game typically hands out everything you need to explore the entirety of each floor. This isn't a case of, say, not being able to open that super awesome chest you just found and enter the gungeon. And there's some really terrific quality of life additions too, like being able to instantly travel to any room you've already been to, which is a serious problem I have with pretty much every roguelike I've ever played. Seriously, this is such a clutch feature. But to summarize this little review, I don't know what I've been doing with my life all this time before I started playing this. Now going back to the Switch release for a minute, Star of Providence is going to be the perfect fit for it. With fast-paced twin-stick shooting and with it being so easy to pick up and play in quick short bursts, it's an easy recommendation for me. I just might have to double dip on it myself. While outside of the list of updates we were notified of during the game's release announcement, which shows that they are adding new challenges, new characters, new bosses, and well, let's just say new everything, we still don't know many of the specifics. So stay tuned for more news on that later, keep an eye on the Switch release or pick it up now on Steam to see what it's all about before the big content drop comes out. But that's it from me. As always, like and subscribe for more news, previews, and reviews like this one. I'm Colonel Dupes, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Aw, yeah.